welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the PUBG Classic for the FACEIT Global Summit. I am Kyle Loris, your desk host here at the analysis desk, and to my right-hand side, as always, I have Toffees and I have Avenger. Boys, STK is popping off so far, and it's great to see. It's great to see as well North America deciding to say, you know what, screw every other region. We're actually going to do extremely well on day number one.
I mean, back-to-back wins on day one. You got to give that a lot of respect. Getting one win in an 8-game or 6-game series is almost impossible. Getting two is absolutely bananas. We call them in North America the Iron Men of PUBG because they move as a unit. They're incredibly difficult to breach, and we saw that when MP5 pushed them. They had each other's backs. They always do.
What is more impressive is also across maps and across a break.
Yeah.
But like keeping that momentum going is really impressive for me as well on top of that.
It's mentality. So when you talk about seeing them outside of games, right? In the hotel the other night, while some of the players are relaxing or hanging out, STK always moves as a unit, just like in the game. You always see them together. You ask them what they're up to, they're like, well, we're headed up to the rooms to watch more VODs. Like, these guys have a huge work ethic, and when they come to a tournament, they come to a tournament to win. And you can see it and you can feel it when you talk to them.
Do you feel they used the unutilized the foot massage techniques at the Hotel Avenger, or is that not something that
I haven't seen them there yet, but I'm pretty sure their coach will give them foot massage if they're performing better from that.
Maybe not to his brother.
Yeah, well,
so
if
anybody doesn't know, their coach is actually Adam's brother. Right. So it's kind of they also have a little bit of a family thing going, and that's got to be kind of a cool tie as well, to be traveling with your twin sibling and having an experience like this.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for predictions before we get in. We're 1 minute out, I'm getting told, here for the game Avenger. Starting with you, we're on Erangel. Where are you going? Is it an STK 3-time?
No, we're going to have an Ents win here.
Oh, they haven't had that.
It's going to be easy.
It's going to be simple. Hashtag trivial for Ents.
There's no way. There's
no way. Come on, Toffees, what have you got?
I think it's impossible for STK to win 3 in a row, so I am going to go with, let's say Liquid. Liquid, I think, is...
You don't think they're going to struggle on coming out?
I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt here.
Okay, let's see.
Wow, well that was some weird waffle to say the least. I'm going to go maybe with Crystal Luster. They've been consistent and maybe they get themselves a win. Thank you very much, gentlemen, as it's now time here at the FACEIT Global Summit to get it going. It's all about that trophy right there as all of these teams vie to become a world champion. It's Erangel. It's game number 5 here for the FACEIT Global Summit. Casters, take it away.
Richard, I'm scared. I'm nervous. For some reason, North America is kind of doing better than Europe when I've started to cast, and it hurts me inside.
What is this, console esports? What's happening?
That doesn't exist.
That hurt. That really hurt. Anyway, NA is playing lights out at the moment.
They really
Absolutely
are.
Fantastic. Back-to-back chicken dinners from STK. I mean, Toffee spoke about it on desk. They call them the Iron Men of PUBG over in NA. They did move as a unit, okay, granted. Again, I still will never say, you know, oh, it was always a gifted win, the circles. They played it well, they followed the edge, they had the circle, they locked it down, they defended their position more importantly. They kept all 4 men alive going into that final circle and managed just to pretty much mop up whoever else was left, because it wasn't exactly the most empty of win. There was still plenty of kills in the bag, so credit to them, they did well. Once again, we will be focusing on Pachinki going to this one, because nobody is giving up. No one's backing down. There may be some slight adjustments, but you've still got Liquid 17 and C9 hoping that someone gives up here.
They're going for it. It's just like rinse and repeat till one of them backs away. And it's almost picture perfect to the same drops, same landing area, same kind of cut of Pachinki. I mean, at some point, surely someone goes, oh, this isn't working so good. Is there going to be more aggression? It's going to be less aggression. You can already see the guns instantly coming in. Cloud9 have the most weaponry thus far. I guess you could say 17 now are equaling it out. Already, though, godv starting off very well.
Bye-bye.
Squish banana in the row, doesn't slip on it. godv is away. So Car in the pocket and a northeast circle.
Minor adjustment from Gemty this time. He's clearly preempted the vehicle of what happened last time with the issues. He's gone ahead over to farm, which will give him a different area to loot. He might give him a vehicle as well, so preempting the utility in order to move forward once this all said and done and the battle for Pachinki is over. I'm seeing bullets coming across. That's the beautiful Bison straight across from Ibi. Doesn't land any tags, but certainly has the information. Needs to be aware and very careful. Between these buildings, the windows are very open and easily line of sight. Circle's not with them this time, so slight different play should come through. We'll see Incognito with the fire adjustment, Lipo, Mansion, it's all up for theirs. Envy clear as day up there in Yasnaya. Now, interesting circle. We were speaking about ENCE before. This is their home territory, all right? Okay, you've got STK who's knocking on your back door over in Severny. But this is their usual play. Actually, no. Looting-wise, it's not. We saw them in PEL
they go
between...
northeast further.
Yeah, Kameshki, Stalba. But it's certainly, this should be home turf. I mean, why are we seeing so much of an adjustment? Why are they not doing their usual thing, getting the vehicles? It's interesting.
I mean,
There's
hopefully we
questions.
can get an interview with them at some point. I'd love to hear what's been going wrong, what's been going right, why they've adjusted, if this is a real adjustment or if maybe they play differently online with different teams here. I'd love to know their mentality around it. And keep in mind here, we have so many teams dedicated towards Pachinki. The West is so open. Like, look at this entire area. It's so readily available. I'm curious if things change going forward with some of these teams, if they do manage, the groups again, if they decide maybe to switch things up, or if it's too late. I mean, a lot of these teams will have their specific loot routes as such. I know a lot of people have discussed that now, so people understand what I mean by when I say it, but they have their approach. And actually, speaking of approach, we have a bit of a scary prospect for ENCE, because this is shoot to kill. And Thrifali is holding the boxes, but there's a player very close by. That AK is deadly, and oh my god, they have no idea. ENCE now are being completely and utterly kind of put to test. Let's see what Thrifali, you've got to say it like that, otherwise it's wrong, is going to do here. The Finns have not had a good time so far. I'm not sure what gear he's got. Obviously, you can see the gun, you can see the equipment around that. Hopefully he's got a vest, a helmet. He's got enough to fight it out. He should do by now.
It would be a huge win.
Is he going to open up, though, or is he going to win?
I think he holds this one because they're so split. Even a
Does he
knock
have a chance?
would do so much damage. So hold this point, which allows his teammates to regroup if they need to. ENCE play so split.
Oh, hold on. This is different.
Jemty, are you okay, mate? No,
No,
you're dead.
no. Cloud9 put a player early towards that kind of, I guess, northern side hill. They didn't do this last time. Last time, Liquid were allowed to peel away, take the church side. And do you remember when they got themselves into that little house as well?
Yeah.
And actually, Cloud9 just battered them at that point too. But this is nice mental small adjustments. And we are seeing 17 Gaming taking themselves away early, so none of them want to make the same mistakes. If anything, Team Liquid were the ones who kind of played the same game, the same hand. Cloud9 made a minor adjustment, and it looks like 17 Gaming are making a bigger adjustment.
Yeah, they'll opt to go to the barn houses, which gives them an extra area to loot. They're not quite in the circle, but they can certainly maybe gatekeep Liquid or C9 if they want to. Now, the question is, did they see Jemty peel off during the landing phase? You'll see all the rotations coming through, and the observers are so amazing in the back they can almost pick up every single kill. So we'll be switching and dipping and diving for all the different POVs because we have them all under control in the back. But I'm wondering if they copped for Jemty and realised what he was doing during the landing phase. They saw him peel off from the rest and said, okay, well, let's this time deny Liquid's manoeuvre. If they want to try and push from behind, we'll put a man here to stop this from happening.
Yeah, because last time we saw a couple of the Liquid players holding their rotation. Hello? Yeah, no, we saw the kind of, I guess, counter coming out from the Liquid boys early. They had people watching that rotation. Maybe they stopped doing that and you're seeing Cloud9 punish. I like that. I really like small adjustments. Now keep in mind and remind yourself of what you can't see it right now as well, that 17 Gaming didn't completely peel off. You saw them leave. They didn't go super far away. On the other side, though, ENCE is still very split here. It's one, yeah, there's no one together. There's no trades available. All individual looting, and this is great for loot. But there's a time limit. There's a marker that will tick in their heads that should say, guys, we need to start being a bit more cautious. The circle will push teams who like to early rotate towards the areas that we're in. Squeaky, in the middle of a field, you've got Interrogate some of the Envy boys in between him and Rustenmar. So you have to remember that there is always limits on what you can get away with. Hello. Was that two?
Double headshot. Literally, dink, dink, thank you, bye-bye. Is there anyone else over in that vehicle actually able to get them up, or are they just going to get mobbed? That's sick. That's actually disgusting.
Yeah, they just double dinged.
Double tap two players just like that.
That's so nice.
And now runs them over for a bit of BM. Long may it continue. Go on, beat him.
But you don't want him to drown. I don't know if you can see him in the water. I'm sure he can. He's not super submerged yet. It doesn't matter. He's done. He will be fine. And will that point go to him?
Because they got the knock. The point goes to them anyway, so it's job done.
Good. All right. I was a little worried when I see it on the icon.
Provided no one else stole it. That's the wonderful thing about this point structure. I say the wonderful thing. It's the worst thing for these players. As soon as there is a knock on the floor, it's like quick and easy point. Just smash and
pile
grab.
on it. Yeah.
You will see a few where they'll leave him in the blue. It's like, okay, they're done. Just leave him be. But again, all right, blue's going to finish him. He's still going to get the point. If there is another team, it's like, oh, look at that. Some walking wounded. That's just 3 points for us at the end of the day. So you have to make sure you confirm them, but that's obviously an easy one and a different scenario altogether. This is why Trefella didn't bother laying fire earlier on. He allowed Mikas to push up now, and they'll regroup, which
so we
gives
kind
them
of
a
have the
foothold.
2-2s now. We kind of have ENCE back together, but I'm still worried about ENCE because I haven't seen them looking strong. I haven't seen that Finnish sort of
Finesse.
pizzazz. Wow.
Kind of worked.
Kind of.
Not
It's a bit of a reach, but I like it. I love the attempt. Where are we seeing rotations right now? Because we've actually seen, 16 teams live. We've seen those 2 players go down, but we haven't seen any big engagements. The east side of Yasnaya is giving me some great anxiety right now. There's a lot of teams all piling in, but there's a lot of room. Obviously, on the bigger sort of overview of things, a small wall, a bit of cover can make a big bit of difference, but I'm worried about these third parties now coming through.
Yeah, when you look at the map, you have to kind of bank on it going further up north because of how much map's up there. But again, anything can happen at this point. AG are committing to what is more kind of known as the yellows in the cornfield, just to be Yasnaya. We've had a hell of a lot of finishes around that area across the road, just up from them. So it could swing there. You've got MV holding it back. You can see Venge just keeping an eye on them. 17 in the distance this time, coming out with full 4 men from Pachinki. GG for that. AFF have gone a little bit further up. AHQ, they'll be on the eastern stands. Team Liquid, though. First, unfortunately, losing a player, a big fragger in the form of Jempty, and someone who likes to lead off. And again, for FaZe, he used to do it back in the day where he'd be the head scout. Jimbo, though, head of the snake on the bike, will be finding a decent foothold on this. They have to be careful, Aero Wolf 1 directly in front of them.
They scare me.
Yeah.
So don't go near them. If you can avoid them, that'd be wonderful.
I think I mean, don't get me wrong, okay? Liquid, they're a good set of fraggers. They're an incredible...
Oh, that's...
Yoink. All right, hard shift.
Okay.
I'll finish what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Liquid, they're an incredible set of fraggers, but they're going to be hitting Aero Wolf at a man of disadvantage.
Yeah, Aero Wolf are going to lay down some shots, though, and we've seen double headshots happen, just things that shouldn't be happening. Now, James is going to relay all this information. He is okay for now. For now is the main word here because, I know you love to say it, rock in a hard place.
Oh,
and there it is, he's found the hard place already. Aero Wolf, just picking people out of cars. You don't take that road. The road has a very expensive toll fare on there, which is mostly your life. Go somewhere else. Find another way. ENCE, you're seeing everyone. STK on the move. AFF on the move. AHQ, a lot of abbreviations on the move. All heading north. All trying to get to the north side of Stauber.
This is just a huge migration. Now, remember, Circle 4, it will pull away from the water, so you'd have to bank on this going between Stauber and potentially Coastal Line, but it still could shift and come down south. 4 a.m. They'll take up the high point here. They'll be able to see anyone who's down below them rotating on that coastal road over the northern side. And you might see STK just lay down fire here. You've literally got
Look
a roadblock.
at this northern
STK,
road. Look at it.
ENCE, Aero Wolf.
Here we go, Mikas.
This is the smash.
Finally, we're going to start seeing ENCE wake up because they have to. They're being forced in. 4 a.m. Wait, is that still? No, couldn't quite get it. That's Aero Wolf again. These guys are just devastating anyone who comes along that road, but they are going to suffer for it if they outstay their welcome. There's so many eyes turning towards them. Already a player not God V in trouble. Damaged up fire comes in. You've got Forever and Captain isolated away from him. That's STK keeping them pinned down, but they're engaging towards Aero Wolf. There's so many third parties. It's beyond a third, fourth, fifth party. It's everyone on the server right now is looking on that northern side, excluding 3 teams.
STK is basically just melting everybody that comes over. Unfortunately, it beats Thurs. Pulls up, gets out, does him, job done. Now they're down to 1. Samty again, for the second time, just left clinging on for dear life and he'll hide inside a Harry Potter. Adam finds Captain.
Poor Harry.
At the moment, 4 a.m. and I think it was Aero Wolf 1. They are having a hell of a rough time there up in the north. Because the problem is with that coastal road, it's an uphill battle. There is so much line of sight here, and the fact that you have both ENCE and STK taking the whole ridge line, and all of a sudden STK are in trouble. Because ENCE, they've realised what's going on. Okay, this is our ridge line and we don't want to share.
But you've got 4 a.m. there trying to hold the back lines. Who engages on who? Leo does find Sam. We already heard from Leo that he is a fragger. That is Liquid out in just a disgraceful place for them. That's going to be heartbreaking, but let's keep on track with what's happening. Forever is finding kills. That's one of the STK players going down. This is not going to be a clean run for them.
Steal.
Now here comes Rustemar. That's God V gone. Forever goes down. 4 a.m. just got eliminated in 15th.
And excuse me, it was actually ENCE who stole it. So that was 2 players. What happened there from nowhere? Rustemar takes the off angle. He picks up 2. That'll be split between him and Trefeli, and now they can get the information and
he's got to get back.
Will they press the advantage here on STK? Because they're pretty well tanked up here. They've been taking bodies on the opposing side. You can see the walking wounded in the form of Adam. I don't actually know how many's left.
This has got to be sweet revenge for ENCE after what Purdy did to them. Keep in mind, that guy ran at them solo with the backup behind him, just laying down shots, grinning ear to ear, knowing that he had ENCE in the perfect spot. Now they've just completely ripped apart the other team. This is good. But now third parties, you know what these hills are like. The higher up on this hill you get, the more vision you get, but then the trees can occlude it. There's so much danger. ENCE can't go too far because they don't have full information. Envy aren't far, and we got MP5 not far, but actually Adam did get found by Forever. I'm pretty sure that was kind of just bleeding out as that happened, so I don't think that really got claimed to anyone other than him.
A 4 AM point in the bag.
That's
simple
not
as that.
bad,
And
I
again,
guess.
it's just, even though they're not on the map, unfortunately, there's no steal, there's no answer back from it. You thought they might be able to clean it up. 17. They've actually got 4 up compared to the previous one, so a decent one to get out of dodge. They've got the, it looks like...
Okay, Shox, hold on. There's a man called Shox
weaponry
at LAN, staring someone down. I've heard good things about this name in other games. I think Frankie can probably tell us more about that. We are going to see if if Shox actually opens up here. It's always that mental sort of questioning of yourself. If I open up, where are we going to get shot from? Are we vulnerable? Can I get my other teammates to join in? Is it worth, you know what I mean? You start working out. So here's the shots from their teammates, and now he engages. That's really, really nice synergy with the rest of his team. They're split in another 2-2, so they perfectly pincered the other player on Incognito.
You can expect him to go for the tires now. I mean, Kick and Mukau might potentially go for the res here, but you are committing a full man and able to take that one down, which leaves you in a 2 versus 4 scenario. Again, he had to go down as well. If you're going to take those shots, you've got to make sure the body is put down. For the simple fact he had an M24 on his back, turns around with the 8 times, he might just smash you in the face. So, taking your time, it's fine, it's paid off. The Brazilians moving up the hill. We'll see the Crusaders here. Potentially, who have they got in front of them? Okay, so we've got MP5. Unfortunately for them, I don't think they realise the Rangers are right on their backside. Purdy Curdy, last member of STK, doing what he can and just playing for placement. But I think for STK, coming off the back of 2 wins back-to-back, this might be a low one.
And AG saw these guys actually quite late game last time. I think they all took down 4 AM and the... couple of others being
3 kills, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to keep this in mind. Now Leo's on the move. A bit of a hefty fragger as well. We want to see what he can do. That interview certainly painted him in a picture that I didn't expect. Now I love learning about these players who can be really up there as the bigger players, but it does seem as though HQ are starting to suffer as well. They're losing out on players, and you said Rangers were creeping their way up. The Brazilians are in front of them. The Brazilians might get folded on here.
The Latin team will just back off for now. They open up. Initial body shots come through. Purdy Curdy's still holding back. That's fine. There's nothing you can really do here, but here's the response. This is what I said earlier on. Every single time you take these shots, you have to be aware that there will be a response from the opposing side. The DMRs, the snipers, they are dangerous weaponry. Rangers do have the man advantage, so they've got the guns, but unfortunately, do they have the skill? And FPS will find a couple of tags through the bodies, but now he puts them in a very tricky situation because this blue will start to do damage, which basically leaves them out there, and they have to move into the circle. Brazilian, they can hold the line and basically let the blue do the damage and just let Rangers walk out. That shift goes away from all of them. The blue has worked, Lauren. He's down, he's out. They will lose 1. Leo moves on to a second one. That's MP5 getting involved. So the Rangers, by playing the late game here, unfortunately, it's kind of screwed them.
It really has. I feel bad. They waited too long and they took that awkward couple of shots and couldn't commit, and they couldn't land enough to confirm it, and now they're just bleeding by the wayside. You're going to see how much damage this does. It is not a light circle. This one stings, and you've got a team to the north, team to the south. Where are you going to go? You've got to just pick your poison at this point. Sitting in that smoke will only last so long. They're just desperately trying to heal, and as you said, that circle is all the way in the east. We have a lot of teams already in a very, very aggressive, strong position waiting. Oh.
The thing is with the... Ooh, I'll just...
Miss me with that, Nate.
The thing is with this circle in particular, the topography of the map, pretty much the whole eastern side is grass and nothing else.
Mika's just got found, though. This could be a launch pad for the rest of MP5 to start running into this one. If they feel they need to go, this is a really good point. But actually, ENCE aren't that close by. They still hold high ground. So Mishu does confirm kill, but the rest of ENCE are sitting further back. He might have been their almost warning signal to alert the others at this point. Or sadly, he just got caught out. Now, Envy can third party. MP5 can be a nuisance. We have AG in the back lines. This western side is very scary for anyone who wants to walk along that trail.
West is best. This will be the momentum of this game because East is pretty much a dead zone, to be honest. You won't really want to be walking around there.
The
There's not much
southeast
place to go.
side is a bit scary.
Yeah, and everyone will be focusing on this side and clashing heads. Envy are in the best spot. They can hold this line. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams are outside of the circle. In front of them, this could be, honestly, Envy could mop up maybe 5, 6, 7 points here just on kills alone.
Yeah, it does look as though Ents are holding the line, which is the main thing. They've taken down Mishu, who's the kind of engager, but Envy in the back lines are now going to be a problem. They found Spartan, so Ents know that Envy are very nearby to this. That can be caught up on in a second. Let's keep tabs on AHQs. They do clear through this, methodically moving, and it does seem as though they hear the shots towards Cloud9 from afar. So they should know there's danger around, but at this point, you know there's danger everywhere. That western side has kind of dispersed slightly. Ents move slightly further south, it looks like, to try and find a little bit of respite from the Envy boys really breathing down their necks, but not everyone is safe, Rich. There's still teams out in that danger zone. You're going to be seeing one of them now. General on the run. How is he still alive? Makes it in thriftily from up on top, does switch over, gets ready for any sort of response coming in from the others, but for now they are fine. They do want to find safety of their own, though.
Envy still open arms, just waiting for this because they know everyone has to cross into the circle and make their way forward. We'll see DG98 doing whatever he can do for the Rangers. The last man standing, but not for too long as he is outside in the blue, and he will be bleeding out and dying rather soon. Moody gets tagged up by Ents. They now have the read on where Envy are. See the Brazilians directly in front of them. Homboya finds
Everyone's
one
taking
with
this
FPS.
line, Richard.
Yep.
The Brazilians are being barbecued. You can see it. And 1 FPS goes down. Raspu's gone down. All of them just got caught by AG, who took their time. They moved with the blue. But then you've got to consider, where do they go from here now? There's still some of the Brazilians remaining. Rastanmar is there. So you're going to see every team now turning their eyes towards it. The Rangers still have that one-man standing. DG98 is doing everything he can. That could be a knock. Can he get it in time? I think he knows he is done for. Rastanmar will put him out of his misery as the Brazilians also suffer a similar fate. They are being broken around.
Circle does centralise on the main road. Purdy Curdy's still in. No idea how he's there, but he's managed it. C9 are doing an interesting one. They were the last ones to leave Pachinki, but they do have a 4-man stack going into this circle. The bad thing for them is they have 17, a team that were causing them problems at the very start of the game, just smack bang down in the middle of the south. And it looks like Afrika might have actually got the information that things are going on here, so Afrika
Cloud9. You've got to be careful.
They're going to get squashed between two teams. You've got AFF directly above them in the north.
AFF are just locking it down.
17 could push this.
They're king of the hill. It's Cloud9 who are in danger. Look at it. Nerf's already been knocked. K-Mine's in trouble as well. If they keep pushing this, I want to see what 17 Gaming do here. They've got a nice bit of cover from the kind of northern side. They've got that bit of a dip on the ridge that kind of runs around so they can focus towards Cloud9, but you cannot get isolated. You have no hard cover. You just have the terrain to keep you safe. Envy, in the meantime, are engaging towards Ents, but you're going to be seeing Lobes keeping this one under wraps as best he can, locking this down, denying the pathway through, potentially looking to consider a revive, but in the meantime, it's Envy again. Late game swinging into the fight now.
The battle on two fronts for Envy. It looks like they're going to push the advantage. We can see it on the map. AG might be done for here. Venerated and Moody are going to extend to the edge of the circle and potentially just put a nail in the coffin there for AG, unfortunately. Profi hanging back and just been aware that there could be a team lingering behind them. They've still got these shots from 17 which came in earlier on.
The problem is he's got AHQ to his east. He's got 17 to his west.
The problem for them is Pachinki. This is why they're so late, because they've just been playing with all these different teams down there. You can't get central. You can't really do much. You turn up to these parties super late.
The rest of Cloud9. He can get an angle on the others. He can get the angle on 17 if it happens, but we need to ignore that because AG just got ripped apart by Envy, who's really starting to swing into things. They've been slow. They've been holding the line in the north, kind of, I guess, western side, but now they're coming into it. Oh, Squeaky. Squeaky, hold your nerves, hold your breath, because Incognito start to linger at the top. Squeaky strikes, takes down one, is the trade there. Rastamal goes down. Squeaky still doing everything he can. Can he hold this by himself? He needs to go off here, and he's doing just that. Confirms the two he started. Not going to go for the revive just yet. He knows the nade is there. He knows there's another, but where can he go from here? Can he still find it? Or will he peel off and try and take a second to breathe?
Squeaky got it.
Squeaky got him.
He did.
They just took down three. Squeaky, you beast, and the revive comes in. But Envy, you can see him in the back lines, moving closer, but they've got time for the revive. A second to consider what's just happened. 17 did find Cloud9. I'm looking to see if there's going to be an answer coming back in. It looks like just Lobes is left alive. 17 keep moving. AFF still king of the hill here. They're holding this one down. Cloud9 about to get crushed under the pressure.
Squeaky just beasted him. 3 versus 1. Job done. Placements and points as well. So happy days for him. Move back to Afrika. Still lingering on this rock side. They have the cover. But there are so many teams at so many different angles they need to be aware of. And they are playing a very split game. So if a team rocks up on one individual, they're going to have a hell of a time. 17 looks like they've done a tremendous amount of damage to C9 here. Really a lot left they to make from the American roster. Meanwhile, speaking of American rosters,
right now?
Ooh, I'm not too sure. Ents are doing pretty well.
Yeah, Ents are fine with 2. I would say the one thing for me is that AFF, as much as they've been kind of central and they're playing towards your top 10 now, which is great, they haven't been fighting too much, so they haven't got the kills. They may not feel as warmed up as the others. They look like they want to kind of get involved. You can see Style pushing out. But
for me, I'd be looking at 20 alive and saying, boys, we are far, far spread apart here. This ain't good. For 20 players alive, they should be grouped together now, being ready for teams rolling up on them, because if they do, even a 2 versus 1, unless you're Squeaky, they're pretty much just going to get battered.
Purdy's tried to stay alive so long. I like this. I really like the dedication, but I like the turn better from SR. Purdy just gets backslapped by the AHQ player, who now takes a second to heal and move forward. That's another jump in the right direction. Lobes goes down. That's Cloud9 removed, but we still have the big boys, Envy. They're moving south, and Ents are on the other side, but it's Squeaky holding the line. Envy are going to be pushed back and held in this position by potentially Squeaky. He only has 1 man to support him, if I'm not mistaken, and he's busy elsewhere. He's got 17 on the other side. Ents have 2 battles coming at them from 2 different sides. How big can they make themselves look here to seem this intimidating? I do not know.
It's literally a 2 versus 8. That's insane. I mean, they've done well to make it to this point. They've got a fair amount of kills in the bag.
They're still in. They're safe here. If they can find like a little bit of like a ledge or something.
There's 2 players you want, at least in the final ones, it's your fraggers like this. Squeaky and Ruston, man, they could make something happen, but for them, it's not about survival. It's about how many kills and can they pick up before going down.
Yeah, but they could third party the hell out of the knocks if you see 17 and Envy engage, which is what they're praying for.
Imagine if Aerowolf get involved in Envy at the backlines.
You're banking on this. You're praying if you're Ents, but you have to wait. And now Aerowolf move closer. Spotting 1, engaging. Oh, venerated, you animal! RDK had no chance. And now the remainder of Aerowolf just watched his teammate get melted, hit the deck, have none of it. I'm out. I don't like it. I don't want to play with Envy.
Lasered. Completely lasered. And that's what you want. You want to be watching those backlines, making sure these individual little snakes can't do too much.
17, starting to really get
it's a good angle, that as well.
Into it. Now, how much room do they have in there with that blue moving? And I'm trying to see how much room they have to move to. Actually, Ents are still okay to a degree. Now, I say that weirdly, where they have Envy on one side and 17 on the other. You're hoping for other teams to keep the attention. That's it. And they're still okay until that circle moves. They have 36 seconds, and then suddenly there's issues galore. But until that point, they can wait. And they have to hope that other teams have issues. The problem is that all the other teams, they could maybe jump 1 spot. You're looking at CL potentially getting found here by Monkey King. It'd be very hard to wipe the other teams who have 4 alive. So again, Ents, I'd love to see it. If you want to cause another upset, we know that tag brings the potential, but I'm not sure if this is the place for it.
I suppose it depends if Envy make a mistake here. I don't think they will be able to get an eye line because of the rocks on where 17 are going to be set up and prepped to go. I did see an M24 kicking around, so that could certainly find a skull and do a job. They will wander by. Shocks finds CL, so they're gone.
There's a jump. There's the potential jump we theorized. AHQ have 1 player remaining as well. That could cause a jump.
They're going to wander in. Oh, they're getting tagged up, Lauren. Okay, so that's actually 17 who've managed to get an eye line on them, which says, okay, Envy, time to run. This is a problem.
Does 17 Gaming know it's Ents? I don't know if they've actually had like a knock or a kill to confirm it. So in theory, they could wonder if they've moved to that side, but it'd be a bit of a reach. It would be a bit of a reach. I think Ents now just have to run it soon. They know they're in trouble. If they feel that Envy have been pushed away from those angles, they could work to the north. At the meantime, though, AFF have taken over the northeast side. They've got a good bit of room here. Potential, bit of a dagger in the back there, potential all around this. Who do you think's got the upper hand?
I think if AFF play it clever, then they could do well and maybe. But again, it depends though, because you've still got these 3 teams with 4 men up. Now and again as well from the blue, or we just see this random wild snake appear and just drop a player, which then causes all catastrophic behavior.
We saw.
If you knock one from a team, it just focuses. You have to get that res off, which then takes you down to 50%, basically.
Okay. SR, again, could allow a jump for Ents if they're able to stay alive. Rostamar goes down, they're down to Squeaky. Let's see who goes first. This is potential jumps for teams who need points. And here we go, Aerowolf's remainings have started to fight here. This is huge. And another jump comes in. Aerowolf does go down, but that's weakened Envy for a second or two. And Squeaky's still alive. Here's the entirety of 17 Gaming looking at him. But Envy are busy. AFF now could potentially fold on them.
If they push in here, at the moment, Style can hold back the one remnants of AHQ. But if they just collapse onto Envy, they might be able to do so much damage. There's the initial steal, so 1 point goes their way. Now they have to deal with the rest of them. One of them is very weak, just coming off the back of the res.
Oh, Envy are moving south again.
Do they get not... Oh, excuse me. Do they completely forget that Squeaky's there, and does he just stab
I don't
them?
think they know. I don't think they've been able to keep that in mind. They might have like a small consideration just in the back of their mind, like, oh, there was maybe, you know what I mean? There's going to be that maybe alarm going off. But beyond that, you've got 10 seconds. And now Envy, I think, are actually on the very verge of being in the circle, so they can play from this. But they've given up everything. Squeaky's been spotted again by 17 Gaming. These guys have not left him alone for a second. He knows he's in danger. The northeast side, they're just desperately trying to get rid of SR. They want to remove that potential dagger that could really threaten them. And then goes Squeaky, but he held on long enough to jump up quite high. So again, he went down after AHQ's player, so that puts him in a good spot. That's fourth for them, better than we've seen before. We're into the top three, Rich. We have 3 big teams with a lot of players alive. Where are we looking?
I think you have to say 17 for the simple position. AFF might commit too much to that lower ground, which could be a problem. Envy are also going to be playing off the backside of a hill. 17 are basically kings of the mount at the moment, the most central. So if the circle starts to push them in, then they're going to be the ones that have to make the least amount of maneuverability. If a sniper can find a face, that would be the domino effect. In theory, it's Envy who are at the disadvantage for the simple fact that they are down to 75%. But AFF's position isn't that good compared to the rest of them. However, they're all getting front and center, and they all have been prepared for the circle to do the work here. That's the next task.
What cover
the
do we
circle
have?
push them.
17 Gaming have something. Those trees look beautiful, but 17 Gaming do have a little bit of something to work with. I don't know what the hillside looks like. I feel like AFF might have a little bit of territory to work from. It looks like there's a bit of a dip towards the northeast side of it, but the problem is that Envy have a lot of teams looking at them.
I wonder how many smokes people have.
Yeah,
and for 17, just as a really quick note, they're kind of spending all their utility now. They're using it all. So is AFF. They're getting ready for this one. If Envy hold on to what they've got in the bag... okay. Everyone's spending the utility. The smokes are up, and this is just going to be a bloodbath in the center of the circle.
Shox is really chomping at the bit to get forward. And here we go. Interrogator spotted one first. Bit of fire coming through. Nade. Oh, sick shot coming back from YY. Was that a nade pulled as well, potentially?
It went off.
And Interrogate's down to 2 HP. Going to bleed out any second now. There he goes. Envy down to 2. Big pickup for YY. Again, that timing. Oh, what? Where did that just come from?
He just appeared from the smoke and just lasered him in the face.
Okay, Envy are starting to really maybe get a hot hand here, but look at 17 Gaming creeping their way forward, having kind of backup plans, insurance plans, and now 17 Gaming really start to make it hurt. Shox did find one, but the trade came back in from Moody, and Moody, the deadly bush, does eventually fall down, and we are down to 2 teams. In the meantime, AFF still stayed alive. Shadow finally comes out of them, finding Monkey King, and confirms it. That's good work, but they're playing from the low ground. They still have to get YY. They still have to do something here. Lambu trying to confirm the kills. Where is YY right now? Is he still alive? He's still hiding in the smoke. The shots come through, and he's just holding his breath so desperately. But when that smoke fades, he knows he's in danger. He's found Lambu, but the spray comes out from YY. This is so sick from him. He's still alive. How is he standing here?
I'm not too sure, but I don't know how much longer it can be for. Shadow finds him. He appears out of nowhere, and it is job done. A freak of freaks. They get a win on the board. It was a well-fought one, especially going into that final circle. Everyone holding the nerve and using the utility at the right time, put the smokes up. But I tell you what, neither of those 3 teams, none of them, went down without a fight. Envy responding to every single call that came their way. 17, they took the best position in the circle. But unfortunately for them, AFF's aggression, it was just not expected. At the end, they get pushed, they get completed, and they get the job done.
I've got to say, for AFF, I was worried because they weren't particularly showing mad aggression or, really trying to engage early on. They were a little bit slow to grind up. They were in that northeastern side that didn't have much really going on kind of, I guess, mid to late. Whereas Envy, you know, fight after fight after fight, ends fight after fight, you know, it was constantly going. But late game, they showed up. They found the right timing. 17 Gaming, they took the fight towards Envy. They had the trades back and forth. And then we see, eventually, AFF finding that position.
I mean, it's always dangerous when you're going to go into that circle, and we kind of called it playing a four-man split.
Of course.
For the simple fact that if a team would have rocked up at any point, they would have just completely bodied every single individual.
Well, it was the AHQ player remaining, wasn't it? There was that one man who could have maybe picked off what you... There's ways you see it going wrong, but it didn't for them. It held true to the end. I did get a little scared but when YY was just still alive there. He took down one, and then it's that little bit of danger. But overall, we've finally seen ENCE wake up. Now, it's not a big swing up, it's not a win, but it's a top 4. That's a big difference to what we've been seeing so far. Is this enough to start thinking that they're getting there, or is it still just not enough? And also, Liquid, so much to talk about. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, a 16th place. All right, they were doing pretty well coming into this. They were up there for second position. They got a win straight off the back this morning. It was an open. It was a good win as well, especially if you can get a win and you can stick 10 points on the board. You're talking 20, 21, 22, 23 points a time, which is huge. And this is where we kind of saw ENCE really up during the PEL, because they got such a buffer on everybody. They could then afford to have bad days.
True.
The problem is that this competition, we go through a group stage and then you're into the elimination, but the points carry over. So the points you're picking up now, they will help you out when we get to that elimination grand finals. If you're low on points, you are going to have a hefty task. But, and I think this is good on a global scale, we've seen it with Incognito. They proved to everyone that it can be done. You can have a huge point game and you can destroy players, but you leave it down to the very last day and everything runs down to the wire.
You're right. I mean, again, you guys at home, we can talk at you, the desk can talk at you, but I want to know your opinions. It's the one thing that I love about the PUBG community out there, especially for these events, the global events, where you're what's your favorite region. You guys know your teams. Who's standing out to you? We've seen a bit of Miramar, we've seen a bit of Erangel now. We're starting to see where we're at. It's only day 1, but use the hashtag and get involved. It is the FACEIT Global Summit. Whack it on Twitter. I want to hear your opinions as well. Is this enough to spark a little bit of faith in ENCE for you guys? Yay, nay? No Easy for ENCE songs coming out yet? I want to know. Again, there's so much to talk about, but for now, we need to talk about the winners. And rather than us talk about it, let's hear it from Style and Freya down by the stage.
That is exactly right, Lauren. Yes, I am joined here by Style from the winning team, Africa Freaks. Firstly, that must have been an incredible feeling. That was such a tense endgame. Can you talk a bit about that final fight?
엄청나게 좀 긴장된 경기였는데 방금 한 경기에 대해서 좀 이야기를 해줄 수 있는지.
그냥 이제 그쪽 라인이 적이 없는 것을 알고 빠르게 들어가서 이제 굉장히 넓게 지역을 먹어서 아마 이긴 것 같아요.
So the line that they went to didn't seem to have that many enemies, so they went there quickly and then started spreading out quite widely, and then that's how they won, I think, yeah.
So you guys, you were in 10th place before this game. Do you feel like you've got more confidence now? Do you feel like you found your momentum?
저번에 이제 10등이었는데 지금 이걸로 인해서 좀 자신감이 붙었는지.
사실 지금은 예선전이라서 이제 따로 목적을 갖고 지금 게임을 하고 있습니다. 등수에 상관 안 하고 이제 저희 지역을 수비하고 적을 몰아내는 데 집중하고 있습니다.
So it's the qualifiers for us. So instead of kind of results, we're thinking more about just introducing our like areas and like where we're going to play in the game, pretty much.
Did you do anything differently from the first map, Miramar, coming into Erangel now?
네, 미라마에서 했던 거랑 지금 에란거랑 했던 거랑 다른 게 지금 뭔지.
둘 다 똑같은 것 같아요. 아마 지금 아머리 게이밍이라 굉장히 지역 싸움이 심한 것 같은데 미라마도 그렇고 에란겔도 그렇고 이제 서로 견제를 너무 많이 하고 있습니다. 지금 아머리 게이밍 같은 경우는 차를 다 가지고 가는 상황이기 때문에 여튼 이번 판은 차를 지키는데 위주로 게임을 했었고 잘 된 것 같네요.
So pretty much, it's the same thing that we've done, but we've had a lot of competition with Armory Gaming, and they've been taking a lot of their cars. So this game, they've focused on keeping those cars in the map, and I think that's the way we won.
Well, thank you so much, guys. It's incredible to get insight after such an intense game. We're going to head back over to the desk to break that one down.
Many a times when I cover games, do Koreans dominate, and here in PUBG, it has always the potential to be no different. Africa Freaks comes off the back of a victory in game number 5 here on Erangel, and they do it masterfully in those final circles.
The aggression has been ticked up. Even the teams on the bottom were averaging 3 to 4 kills each. People are looking for the hunt, they're looking for points, and we're starting to see the desperation of only 12 games per group kicking in.
I really love how Africa Freaks really played this well. They spread out, as I said in the interview, how they kind of make sure that they control everything, coming in from the bottom of the hill instead of making sure they took control. Many teams like high ground, but how they played this low ground towards and pushed everybody up, that was the key to win here.
And keep in mind, they said they stressed getting cars this time around because Armory's been hurting them. What better time than when you get a hard shift to the far north of the island? If they hadn't gotten those cars, they never would have gotten in the position to win this match. So, good thinking ahead and preparation. Once again, preparation pays off when it comes to PUBG, and these guys did it in style.
And what better way to power your graphics in these final games than with NVIDIA as they bring us all the highlights. A little love for your boy Dre, it seems, as well here from NVIDIA as we continue.
I was going to say, this has got to amp the stress up for them tomorrow. Not only are they watching the North American brothers killing it out there, but he's on every commercial.
He's literally the spokesman at this point. You better do well, Dre. That's important.
Put stresses on Dre. But you know what? Those guys are ready for it. I can't wait to see what they bring tomorrow.
And on top of that, they've also been here for some time, so they have adjusted to the jet lag. They've been here. They were, I believe, in an NVIDIA boot camp as well as somewhere else. But I definitely think that they're going to be looking at their brothers here, and they're going to be expecting more from themselves than this, but it's going to be hard to catch up with these two guys.
Let's go back to the ending circle that was actually going down there. Of course, we have 3 teams left, and you guys were mentioning to me, basically, whoever strikes first is probably going to lose out on the situation due to kind of the terrain, I feel it was. What were your thoughts going into that?
No, it's actually not the terrain. So when you're 3 big teams in the end, then you're always, if you initiate the fight or you lose a player to begin with, then you're always going to get third party. So it's always like the 2 teams that start fighting each other is always going to be the ones nearly always losing, because then the last team, if they have 3 or 4 guys alive, they're just going to third party that fight. On top of that, we saw Moody take down 2 of the 17 guys, and then Africa, they just rolled in on top of them, just started spraying the smoke, because they didn't have time to kind of think about, let's make sure that all our 360 is covered. They're only focusing on the fight. So you always lose that in the end.
The second you take the shot, it's like throwing chum in the water. Sharks are everywhere. They're looking to descend. And that's what happened. The second that Envy took that shot, unfortunately only 3 players at that point, it was like both teams just went boom, and they were done. Shout out to Moody, though, because he was definitely the MVP of the win there for the Freaks, because that double knock, honestly, it was 17's game until that double spray before he went down.
Yeah, very important.
I just want to elaborate a little bit on that part. If they were able to take a 3v3 or a 3v4 situation here, I definitely think 17 were able to kind of put a fight up, but it took so long for them. They were too focused on one side, and instead of kind of spreading out 2-2, they didn't have a chance of that.
This has been the best showing for ENT so far. Again, kind of a team that comes in with a lot of expectations on them. But, oh my God, did they have to kind of fight for it? No, they're not here. They had to work for it so hard. They got themselves 8 kills in the end, but that was after hard-fought battle, going up to Stalber, even though they kind of, are around that area anyway. So it was not easy for them.
It was literally and figuratively an uphill battle for these guys. Taking Stalber is not an easy task. Everybody else wants it because it's got the best cover. So it was one fight after another, but it was good. Maybe this is the spark they need to get back on their feet. A lot of these teams need that pride. So I think coming in fourth with 8 kills was not only a victory in points, but it was a psychological win for them. It's going to give them the idea that, hey, we can go back to playing step-by-step PUBG. 1 step, 1 point, 1 game at a time.
Fair play, fair play. Let's take a look at the X Factor of the match as well, brought to you by HyperX, as I'm not even sure what this is going to be, so it's an exciting surprise for all of us. Let's unwrap that surprise together as we take a look at what was going to... That wasn't what I expected.
An X Factor is a game-changing moment, right? Sometimes it's absolutely fabulous and mind-blowing. Other times, it's just you drop too slow and everyone else gets cars first. But again, impressive that 4AM was able to get down and get 2 players into vehicles in the time it took Brazil to get to the floor.
I mean, yeah, let's keep watching it again and again. Just rub the salt in the wound slightly there. Thank you very much, God V, one of our highlighted players for the day. So he keeps popping up, boys. He keeps showing up.
But let's be honest, there are a few things in PUBG that are more enjoyable than running someone over as they land, right? I mean, how many times have we lost games because you see someone parachuting and you're like, I gotta go get him, and you're like, no, it's gonna put you out of position. But nah, it's just too much fun to run people over.
Well, that's Avengers playstyle to a T, I think. No, he looks at me like,
No.
Whatever. When we played you, it's just chasing. It's like, what are you doing over there? We're pushing.
He's like a dog with a bone. You can't let it go, right?
No, for me, it's more in the end game where you're like 3 or 4 guys alive versus 1 or 2, and you just run at them and pan them. That's the most enjoyable. Right?
Oh yeah, that's pretty exciting as well. To be fair, I haven't had many of those, but maybe one day.
We'll play together. We'll make it happen.
Yes, we will. Some of the teams that didn't have the easiest of times were teams like Cloud9 Shoot to Kill. Shoot to Kill, actually, Purdy had found himself in actually a very good spot considering rotations and was feigning a few fights over to the east position.
Yeah, I mean, I think Purdy made a good call. They lost 3 people in transition. He was by himself. Then he did the right thing. He sat in the blue in the second circle, spam healed until the team that were blocking him chose to move to a better spot, and then made a really nice long rotation, which we saw. He took a tower, and then if you had the pleasure of watching the map stream, which you guys can tune into, he sat there just shooting gunfire everywhere with different. He changed weapons. He was trying to convince everyone around him there's more than just me here, and it actually worked. If they hadn't shifted so hard away, he might have been able to survive a little longer.
Yeah, if it shifted on the northeastern side, he was going to be alone there for a great time. And that's like, I was surprised that we didn't see more teams kind of take a transition to the northern side and then come in and kind of run uphill, because it can be very hard, like taking control of the high ground, because there's so many teams that want it. But he played it extremely well. And again, peacocking always works in the late game, because there's so many teams kind of just playing for circles so they can get along many players alive into the circle and kind of play for the late game with all their players instead of taking a chance of splitting.
Well, especially since overall, it's kind of funny how we watch that game play out, because there's not a huge amount in terms of shifts from circle 1 to 2 that we can extrapolate from the information given by the teams. But there was the great migration where all of the teams had kind of had their position and they're all moving at kind of the same time. So not a lot of conflicts occur for a moment, apart from up until that northwest location where a lot of conflict occurred at the end.
Well, we were joking about it. It felt like a moment where we should have had some narrator talking about the great PUBG migration. Because literally every car at the same time, every player made that transition. But that's the important part of cars, right, Avenger? I mean, you never know when the hard shift is going to happen, when you're going to have to go to a polar location, and having your vehicles protected, making sure their tires are safe on Circle 2, you can't overstate the little things that make the big wins.
Especially when we also see the amount of teams that take their 2-seaters into houses. They make sure, as far as they can, if the circle shrinks away from them in 3rd circle, even in 4th, that they can crash somewhere with the 2-seaters. But as you say, it's kind of hard sometimes to keep your cars alive or keep your cars safe on the northern side, because there's not a lot of hard cover, a lot of compounds where they can keep it safe.
And I think that these circle shifts are, it's great to have your vehicles, but they can sometimes work against teams like some of our Korean teams that really depend on the 1-3 scout systems. On those big shifts, it's hard to say, all right, go out on the scout, Mr. Motorcycle, because everyone else is moving too. So that is, I think, where we see the weakness of the 1-3 scout system, is those big shifts.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And with that, it's time to go to a short break here. And when we return, we have one more match for day number 1. A and B, all of these teams vying for a few more points here on the first day of the FACEIT Global Summit. Join us right after this for the final map of Erangel.